Something is happening right now in workplaces, in communities, in families, in the spaces where people are trying to do good work together. People are exhausted, polarized, uncertain, afraid. And underneath all of that, there's something quieter, a question that most people are carrying, but very few are naming. How do I stay myself when everything around me is destabilizing?
That question has an answer, not a quick fix, not a mindset shift, not another framework to understand and then forget. A practice, a body practice, a way of returning again and again to the ground of who you are. We call it sovereignty.
Sovereignty is not a new idea. It's one of the oldest truths about human beings that inside each of us, there is a capacity to remain whole, grounded, and self directed, even in the most difficult moments. We have always had it. What most of us were never taught, where no workplace training, no diversity seminar, no leadership program has ever showed us, is how to find it deliberately, how to build it, how to return to it when something or someone tries to push us out of it. That is what the Racial Justice Collaborative teaches.
Think of it this way. Before you learned to be careful, before you learned what was safe to say and what wasn't, before you learned to make yourself smaller in certain rooms or louder than you needed to be in others, before you accumulated the weight of other people's expectations shaped you to how you need to move throughout the world. There was a version of you who knew exactly how to be themselves. Sovereignty is a reclamation of that, not a return to innocence. We are changed by what we have lived through. And that is not a loss, but a return to the internal authority that was always yours. The capacity to feel everything that is happening and still choose your response, to stay in the room without losing yourself in it.
But sovereignty does not arrive in a vacuum. Every person who walks into a room brings more than themselves. They bring their family, their history, their community's accumulated experience of what this world has offered people who look like them, sound like them, and carry what they carry. We call this lineage. Lineage is not your family tree. It is the living nervous system inheritance, the emotional patterns, the survival strategies, the beliefs about what is safe and what is dangerous that were passed to you through generations of people doing their best to survive and belong in a world that was not always designed for them.
Lineage explains something that most conflict training ignores entirely. Why two people can be in the same room, hear the same words, and have completely different experiences of what just happened. A comment that one person reads as neutral, another person feels in their body as harm. A tone of voice that one person barely registers, another person's nervous system has been preparing to respond to for generations. Neither person is wrong. Neither person is oversensitive. They are carrying different histories, and those histories are present right now in every meeting, every dialogue, every moment of workplace tension, whether anyone names them or not.
The Racial Justice Collaborative works at the intersection of sovereignty and lineage, helping individuals, organizations, and communities build the internal capacity to stay present, stay grounded, and stay in relationship even when conversations get hard. We work with nonprofits and community organizations with municipalities and civic coalitions, with leaders who want to do more than manage diversity, who want to build real belonging, with facilitators who need to hold rooms that are charged with the specific heat of racial truth and community pain.
And we work with people who simply want to understand themselves better, who want to know why they respond the way they do in certain moments, who want to stop being surprised by their own reactions and start making deliberate choices about who they want to be in the rooms that matter the most. We offer training, coaching, facilitation, and long arc capacity building programs, from single workshops to year-long intensive. Everything we do is grounded in one foundational truth.
You are not learning something new. You are reclaiming something that has always been yours. The capacity to hold yourself, the dignity to stay human with others, the clarity to name what is true, the backbone to build belonging that does not ask you to disappear in order to fit.
Belonging with backbone. That is the destination of this work. Not belonging that is offered to you by people with the power to grant it or withhold it. Not belonging that requires you to be smaller or quieter or less yourself. Belonging that you carry with you. Belonging that is rooted in your own sovereignty. Belonging that can hold difference, hold conflict, hold the full weight of truth, and still hold the people.
We are Diane Wong and Renee Taylor. We have spent decades in this work, in civil rights law, in university administration, in process work facilitation, in body work, people management, and ministry, in community organizing, in the rooms where the hardest conversation happen, and someone has to stay grounded enough to guide. We built this framework because we needed it ourselves, because the world needed it, because every room we ever walked in was full of people who were trying, genuinely trying, and did not have the internal tools to stay present when the trying got hard.
If you're leading a team through uncertainty, if you're facilitating a community that is fractured along racial lines, if you are trying to build an organization where people can actually belong, if you are simply trying to understand why some conversations cost you so much and how to change that,
Then we would like to work with you. The Racial Justice Collaborative is ready to meet you where you are, whether that is a 2-hour introduction or a year-long transformation, whether you are one person asking a quiet question or a city trying to become something it has never quite been before.
the spark was always there.
So now we learn how to build the fire.